Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in to RK Yoga Chat. I hope that you are having an amazing Friday. Today's already Friday. Cannot believe it's already Friday. It feels a little bit like Wednesday. Wednesday felt like Thursday. So everything is a little jumbled up in my world. But today is Friday. Happy Friday. Yay. Today we are talking about yoga cards. I told you guys that we were going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Hi. Must I be a bother? You are no bother at all. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are going to talk about that. And you hear my baby in the background. Again, he's determined to stay in here so he can see mama. Isn't that right? Say, I'm going to stay in here with big sis so I can see mama. So he joined me on a couple of lives earlier today. And he is with me right now. So if you hear him talking and chatter, just know that he's dialoguing with us about the importance of yoga cards. I would say that no matter what level of profession that you are, it's always a good thing to have your yoga cards with you. One, it helps you just brush up. You can be able to look at the cards and create a really good and sufficient yoga flow based off of the cards. You can visually see it. Hi, Coach Plai. That's my husband. That's Coach Plai with an I and not a Y. He is literally a coach. He's a personal fitness instructor and trainer. He's also a nutritionist. So all of your needs for fitness, all of your needs for nutrition, all of your needs for being able to create a workout exercise routine, this is who you would want to call. He has open enrollment right now for boot camps. So you definitely want to reach out either to myself or his personal page, which he does have a Coach Plai page. You can DM him and be like, hey, I want in, and be able to go from there. We have flyers out right now and brochures that we are sending out virtually. We have virtual classes available. You want in with that, as well as with the yoga. Right now, we are trying to get a good timing and date set for the postpartum yoga. So that's something that we're in prayer on as far as getting that situated. Because I really want to work with my postpartum mamas. Because I've been there and I'm still in there. And I want to get that going. As well as pregnant mamas. Y'all have my heart. Because I'm a mama of 10. So pregnant mamas, postpartum mamas, I gotta work with y'all first. So we're going to get that together. But let's talk about yoga cards. Even if you're not in yoga, if you're doing workouts, I would still suggest for you guys to have cards. Like I said, it's just something really, really good to be able to fall back on and be able to brush up on and be able to visually see what poses you can do next, what workouts you can do next. Come on, buddy. Let me just show the cards real quick and then I'll be with you. So these are the Newbie Pro. The level is difficult. That's the level difficulty. And then it says Yoga Stack 52 plus 52 additional poses. So you can, with this particular stack, there's 104 cards. They're suited, they're numbered. You can do different games with them, either by yourself or with someone else. It does have a QR code, and it links online. And it has an online demonstration. So you can always input that QR code into your phone and be able to see it. You can easily create fun and effective workouts, compete and play games with your friends. This is nice. Now, the only thing is that it only has the English word. It does not have the Sanskrit language, but it does have the actual English name or title for the pose. It gives you the instructions, like this one for the seated neck flow. You would sit with your crossed legs, slowly rotate your neck clockwise, then counterclockwise, return to neutral. Neutral is just having your neck straight. Drop one ear to your shoulder and place your hand on your head. Then wrap your hand around the opposite hip. Okay? So it gives you the instructions. It's a pretty good card, but like I said, not all cards are made the same. Because when we go to the yoga cards made by Workout Labs, we have a lot more detail. These are sun salutations, which I'm really, really big about. My husband and I both are. like sun salutations are very life-changing. And this is the traditional sun salutation. This particular stack of cards includes 2 different types of sun salutations. And I just really, I'm all over these cards. I love the other ones. Want me? You want mama? Come here. I'm all about my other cards, but these sun salutation cards rock. Well, just these work lab cards, period. One, it has the Sanskrit, which I'm really, really big about. And it has the Sanskrit and how to say it. Saraya Namaskar. Namaskar. Right? Surya Namaskar. So it then gives you like step-by-step instructions on how to actually do the sun salutation flow, as well as the step-by-step image. For me, someone who is as detail-oriented as I am, and in some regions, people have called me anal. Okay. Okay, that's all right. Nonetheless, for someone who's as detailed-oriented as I am, this works out perfect. I love it because it's like I have the English word, I have the Sanskrit, it has the enunciation, and then it has a step-by-step of how to be able to perform this particular flow. So for me, I really do enjoy it. It doesn't take away or discredit the first cards, the Yoga Stack 52, because these are still important. And if you notice, this one right here is way taller. This one right here is shorter. Why is that important? Because, you know, mobility. If I want something that I can just grab like 10 cards, or usually in a flow you're gonna have about maybe 20 poses. So if I just want to grab like 20 poses and then just be on my way, I can actually put the stack right in my back pocket. Voila. It's in there, right there, right? Easy. This right here, it's not quite the same. They are bigger. I could put them in my back pocket, but I do have to accommodate for the factor being that this is bigger and it pokes out. Uh-oh. Don't do that. Grab that light. So I do have to accommodate for the factor being that, I put it right back. And these are bigger and this one is smaller. So there's benefits to both. One of the other things, see, with the comparison of size, this one is a lot bigger. I also have to accommodate, or I also have to look at the factor being that if I'm, you know, not really concerned about the details of it, then I don't necessarily have to have these cards. This right here will already give me what I need, especially like if I'm working with a younger group. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Did the card get you? You all right? I'm sorry. If I'm working like with like a young group and I'm not really concerned about like all the details and so forth, or you know, I already know all the details, so I'm not really as concerned about that. Those cards work out good if I just really want it for a visual accountability of what's going to be the next pose. But if I'm really wanting to get more detail oriented and get, you know, all the information step by step and just it into me as well as into my clients / students, then I'm going to want to go for these cards. Another thing I really like about the work lab cards, I said carbs, but cards, is that it includes meditations. It has the breathing techniques and it has the meditations. The other stack of cards did not. Like I said, each stack is different. Each one has its own benefits. Each one has its own cons. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Pull it closer. They pulled it closer. So each one has its own benefits and each one also has its own cons. I feel like if you're looking for something that's really thorough, my review would be to go with the work labs. There we go. I would suggest to go with the work labs. If thoroughness is not like a really big thing for you, then you may want to go with the first cards that I showed you. He's doing a whole lot. You may want to go with the first cards I show you, the Yoga Stack 52. Now, when I go on different yoga sites and like where I got my yoga bolster from and yoga mat and so forth, when I go on their site, they actually have the Yoga 52, the Yoga Stack 52 as a resource. So I noticed that the Yoga Stack 52 is more of a resource on various yoga sites in comparison to the work labs. And here comes my husband coming in from working with his client early this morning. Good morning! How are you?
Hey. Hey. Yeah.
As you can see, he just got in. He's got his inertia wave bag. You want to come sit and chat on RK Yoga Chat?
Oh, okay. Sounds like fun.
It is fun.
Sounds like fun.
My earring done got pulled out. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, my earring got pulled out. You just take it and put that. Next week, I'm going to talk to you guys about my singing bowl. I'll hopefully be able to do the singing bowl. Yeah, I lost the back. What happened to my back? I had to do like we did in middle school with the eraser in the back. Yeah, you just put those up there. So I have my special guest, an impromptu guest. He didn't know he was going to be a guest today. Dad, good job. Oh, I found it. All right, so make sure you are in the scene. I was over here actually finishing up on talking about yoga cards.
Yeah, I was looking.
So how did your...
Checking out your live on the way home.
Thank you.
Yeah. How's everybody doing? Yeah, I know, right? I got punched in the lips.
How did your session go?
It went good. It went real good. A lot of progress. He's doing a lot of progress. He's getting stronger. He's reaching his goals, and which I'm happy about.
So what kind of workouts did you guys do?
So we do, of course, we do the inertia waves, but we do mainly body weight workouts with when we work out. But I had him doing some squats. He has his own gym. He has his own setup, so we have access to his weight. So we did squats today and deadlifts. And then I had him do some dips. Yeah. So
we talked on here before, like with our last conversation, as far as if you have a home gym, reach out to Coach Plai. Because one of the things that we've noticed, and I believe that, I don't know if today is the time or not, because you have to go to work early, because he also works at a local gym. You need to check him out. I can't get the name of the local gym. You just have to DM to find out specifically. But we talk about, like, if you have a home gym and you're not using your home gym to the best of its potential, reach out to Coach Plai. So when you look at it statistically, in 2020, 2021, home gyms just like exploded because of the pandemic. But now people can have access to going out and going to work, and it's kind of went back to normal where people aren't really using their home gyms the same.
Right.
But they want to. What would you say are some of the benefits of being able to have a home gym?
The benefits is you save on time, you save on gas, you save on those kind of things, and then on top of that, you're able to, work out in your own space. You don't have to worry about. You don't have to wait for a weight bench to open up, or some dumbbells that you want to use to be set back down into the racks and things like that. You don't have to wait for any of that, because you'll be able to flow in time, easier. And so another benefit of it is just people like myself, coaches, trainers that like myself, we can actually come to your house and really, we can do a lot of work. There's a lot of people that come to the gym to this day. They have their own equipment, but once again, they come to the gym to get free tips from trainers. But there's a lot of them that've gotten to the point to, like Mike. He's like, hey man, I can't keep coming to the gym like this. I gotta, my schedule, and so we'll work out together. And that's the cool thing about it. Having your own gym. Once again, you have access to trainers to be able to come to your gym, come to your home, and help you out.
So that's one of the benefits that you get with the Coach Plai Experience is the experience of being able to still be in your own home and be able to, be fit, work out. Yeah, I'm getting you a little closer. Hey, can y'all make him a bowl of cereal?
She's so strong.
I am. Check out these cards.
Yes. Yeah, baby.
I'm just joking. So, all right. So, someone joined the boot camp. Now, we have two, actually, going on simultaneously. We got a whole lot going on simultaneously. But one of the other things that we have going on is the youth strength and conditioning sessions as well with the boot camp. So, if you have...
Hey, you being rude.
He's very, very active.
You being rude, boy.
All right. Darren, will you come grab him? Are y'all making him a bowl of cereal? Oh, Aaron is like, cool. Told you we got 10 kids. We literally did it. I know. He just got done. He had a little dancing session earlier. Oh, he's so hurt. So, one of the things. So, what were we talking about right there?
As far as being the boot camps.
Yes.
The strength and conditioning.
So, what would someone expect?
Well, the biggest thing is it's not subjective to just one particular sport. Like kids from different sports can actually come, and the workouts are geared towards strength and conditioning. That can and agility that you can use. It can be used to get in shape, no matter what sports you're in. You will be able to get a solid endurance course, a solid strength course, body weight, using your body weight, using your functionality, the functional movements, a lot of great things with that.
And then also the social benefit, being able to socialize with people that are like-minded, and also the self-confidence. Sometimes for, especially youth, being an athlete, which we were both student athletes, your confidence level, is so important because when you get older, we kind of fight with and struggle with confidence. But I think as kids, you definitely do. No matter if you're like a top athlete, you still have this in like the back of your mind ingrained, like, how good am I?
Right.
So I believe that being able to have those conditioning classes and sessions helps strengthen your confidence.
Yep, and it allows you to be it gives you an opportunity to see some of your competition and work out with some of your competition and work out with some of your teammates, and then it's a huge boost of confidence, like you had mentioned. It's a huge boost of competition, and allows some of these kids to be more competitive.
Now you've already had experience of working with youth.
Yes, I
now,
have.
without saying the name of the organization, how many, how long were you invested with that, and what was your experience?
I was with them for 2 years. It was
how old were you?
Oh man, I was like 24, 25.
So when you get with Coach Plai, you're getting literally a seasoned coach. This isn't someone who just got, certified and never did this before. You're talking about someone that was a seasoned athlete, well, a youth athlete, and also a seasoned coach, because you were a coach with that particular youth organization.
Yep, and it was a good experience for me because it was one of my first taste. It was a taste of being able to learn how to be a coach and learn how to train not just youth, but train myself to be able to learn, learning new exercises and new understanding of the exercises. This is why we do this exercise for this group of muscles and things like that. It was good. It was a good opportunity to learn under the person that was teaching me. Of course, I was able to apply some of the things I learned when I was playing sports myself, and so being able to train these young folk, it did a lot for me because them seeing themselves able to do something that they didn't know they can do. Some of them were fast, but they didn't know they was as fast as they was until the development of those muscles.
This was for track.
And so it was.
But then they played other sports. Some of those kids played other sports outside of just track.
Yes, they did, and it enhanced the skills in those other sports as well. And so it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. I learned a lot, and then I was able to hold on to it over the years. And so I still see some of those kids nowadays, and it's a huge bump of confidence for me, because when they come back, they're like, "Hey, coach, you know, I remember you taught me this, you taught me that. I went on and did great things." I'm like, wow, you know, it feels good. And they shaking my hand, telling, you know, saying thank you. And I'm like, no, thank you, because without them, I would have never been able to have that hunger to be a coach.
And see, it's interesting because, you know, in our marriage, we'd be out at a grocery store, and you would see some of the students that you worked with. And now, with them working at the local gym, you've seen those same students, and they're even older now, and they're thanking you for certain things that you taught them during their workouts that they were able to still incorporate in college, or they're incorporating into their lifestyle right now.
They're training their own kids as well. They have, you know, their parents that now, and I'm like, wow, you know, looking back, shaking the hands of their kids, it's like, you know, I trained your mother, I trained your father. And
in fact, somebody sent their mother to you.
Yes.
After,
did.
In recent times.
And it was a young guy. You know, I trained some years ago. Now he was in high school. He didn't have a starting position, and he was a linebacker. And so it's like he needed the training. He needed some extra tips and things like that. And he was able to get that edge. And he went on to play college football. Graduated from college, and he did well. He's I want to say he's in the training to become a chemical engineer right now, but yet he's still using the same exercises that I trained with him on. Now he's getting into boxing, and that same training is helping him as a boxer. So, man, it feels good. It feels good to know that I can look back and have those skills, and I can share with other people those recipes, you know, and. I try not to teach anybody anything. I like to try to share recipes. I'm learning even more every day, and every time I train somebody, or with each training session, to remember these are recipes that I'm sharing with them that they can add to what they already know, you know. But seeing people like that, you know, and looking back, and it's like, wow, I do have a solid background in fitness. It was right. It was the right thing to do to get certified as a personal trainer and as a fitness coach.
Exactly. And I believe next time that we talk together, it would be good to even talk about why get certified.
Very important.
That's a whole nother conversation, because you just had someone ask you about being certified. But when we talk about youth, learning how the fundamentals of working out, the fundamentals of training and conditioning and strength and getting their core strong and endurance, I believe that it goes without mention to say how much of a transformative experience it is. Because when you talk about seeing the students now at the gym and them reporting to you how much of a positive impact that you had on their life, whenever you invest in your child to be enrolled in the Coach Plai Experience program, you're investing in something that's lifelong. Because of the experience that they get has a positive influence for their future and how they do their workouts, and just in their mentality, their discipline.
It's important. It's important to me, you know, in this whole experience, to share with people. It's important to start from the inside out. The results will show outward, but start from the inside out, because when you start from the inside, starting with the mind, heart, soul, and your spirit, teaching and sharing with these young folk and grown folk how important it is to take care of yourself mentally, how to take care of yourself, you know, emotionally, and all these different things. You know, it plays a big part in finishing workouts, finishing sessions, pushing through the sessions. And so being able to share that with people and share that with young folk, if they can grasp it early, it sticks with them throughout the rest of their life. You know, you can use this same technique, you know, whether you start your own business or the child grows up to start a business. This stuff will be able to stick with them. I think my coaches when I was playing sports, I had some coaches that did real good at nurturing us from the inside of our minds, heart, soul, spirit, all those different things. They helped us to develop in those areas so that we can, understand what the practice was about, what the conditioning was about, what it's supposed to do, and so on and so forth. And it put in us a worth ethic. That's it, right? Okay. Like we have a gentleman that we played football with, and on our team, that it worked. It stayed with him, and how he owns his own car lot. We got another guy that's he has his own home repair remodeling business. So a lot of us have our own businesses now, and those life skills, I learned them and I share them, and I try to make sure I share with the young folk, share it with parents. I try to reinforce what the parents teaching, because a lot of times a lot of coaches, they won't piggyback or back the parents up. It's like, so a lot of coaches like, it's me, my. But it's important to get the kids to connect with their parents.
That's true.
It's important to getting the young folk to understand that the parent has to be respected. If you can't respect your parents, you're not gonna be able to respect leadership that's coming your way. And so teaching them how to be coachable, sharing with them that, hey, your parents, they're wanting the best for you. This is why you're in the program. They want the best for you, the best quality of life. And I'm sure I'm not the only coach that will be able to help kids with that, but when it comes to Coach Plai Experience, the Coach Plai Experience was built off of the foundation of, of course, I'm a big believer in God. He's the foundation. And next, is getting them to understand how important it is to be a good listener, a good follower, to be a good leader. Really push through everything. The best way you can. Don't give up on yourself. Don't shortchange yourself. Don't cheat yourself. Don't cheat. Get through it. Really good. Go.
Oh yeah. We had one weekend, we call it the cookie weekend. We had cookies on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and they were good. They were. The following weekend, I think it was like last week or something, I wanted to tell you to get some more cookies when you got off of work. But then it was like, no, because that one cheat weekend could end up becoming every weekend.
You could.
And then it will defeat the whole purpose of all the working out that you're doing and all your flows and all your sequences. It defeats it, because every weekend your body is now getting prepped for sugar and all the saturated fats and oils with it, versus you discipline yourself and be like, yeah, we did that weekend. Maybe once a month, maybe once every 3 months, we can have that time to just like have a cookie weekend. And then it actually is like more of a treat. Because now I look forward to it versus just, that's my go-to.
Right. Yep.
So I believe when you talk about pushing, we're talking about like self-discipline, which is something that adults and youth battle with. And that's something that you hardcore attack. Not attacking the person, but just the push to motivate and activate the self-discipline in the adults and the youth with boot camps and the youth sessions.
And that's one thing that's I'm starting to realize even more how far away from discipline the society is moving. Everything that, they're saying it's not okay to be disciplined nowadays. It's not okay to have a certain level of discipline. But if we look at the richest people on the planet, they have to be disciplined in some kind of way to get where they are. They have to be disciplined in the things that they do to be able to gain their wealth, to be able to, it's not just the money, but to build companies that are gonna last.
That's true.
These are the kind of things that we have to be able to instill in ourselves, and as well as these kids. Discipline is very important. You don't want to have the wrong discipline, but the correct discipline strategy is going to be able to set you up for a solid future.
There you go. There you go. And that's why I would say, and I would love, like, on another live, we can talk about communication, because actually doing the boot camps and youth sessions, you have to communicate, because they're like, this hurts, or, you know, like,
asking
so you know, asking, yes. But when we, goodness, there was something you just said, and it activated a question in me. What did you say again? We were talking about the self-discipline. Oh, now I need to rewind it.
I mean,
it was something really powerful. I can't remember. But yeah, the self-discipline. The self-discipline is important. It is so very important.
It is.
It is. In adults and in youth. And you're right, we are slipping away from a society that's involved with self-discipline. But to really build anything, even to be an employee, you have to be able to be disciplined, to be able to be a student, to be a student athlete. To get up for your day, you have to have some discipline, or else you'll squander your day. So you want to be able to have some goals and reach those goals. Sports and exercising, working out, it creates a mindset of being a goal setter and being able to really see yourself achieve those things. And so when we talk about these boot camps, we talk about the youth sessions, we talk about getting a holiday package or a wedding package, any of those things, we're talking about creating goals for yourself. And I know the question, and I know what I was thinking, the revenge body.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we can just have it real quick, because sometimes people want to lose weight and look good as a means of revenge. I remember back in the day, shout out to Maury Povich, you remember that show? And they used to do the revenge body, and people who were like the ugly duckling in high school or got bullied would come back on stage, like 20 years later, and they're like, look at me now. And sometimes the bully didn't care.
Right.
Sometimes the bully was like, hey, let's do a one-night stand. Like, they still don't care.
Right.
I believe if that's your mindset, then you have the wrong mindset, because you're not going to stick with it.
No, you're not.
You know, and that was something you had said about sticking with it. And especially, I can't really speak for men, but especially for women, I believe it's very easy to be like, I'm going to lose this weight and get down to a size 6 or whatever the case is, so that I can strut myself in front of all these people that said I would always be fat, that said I would always, and I don't like using, I use fat very loosely, but that's how we talk to ourselves in our mind. I want to look sexy, I want to look like, you know, the top model type, and I want people to see that and just, you know, be all involved with what I look like. So what would you say to someone? What would be your advice as we close this up? What would you say to a gentleman, to a woman, even a kid who's watching this or watches this later, and they want to lose weight so that they can impress the masses, either impress those that are bullying them or impress those that they want to look at them?
First thing I would say, stop trying to impress other people. You know, don't try to impress anybody else, because it's equivalent to a person who's an alcoholic or a drug addict. If they don't do it for themselves, for the betterment, for their health and for themselves, you're doing it for the wrong reason. It's not going to stick. It's not going to stay. The change is not going to stay. It can actually become toxic. So don't grade and judge yourself according to other people or what other people think. Just work on being healthy. Do it for you. Do it for you to feel better, to look better for you. It's gonna feel better. You're gonna work harder doing it that way. There's nothing wrong with having something to inspire you or something to, you know, to kind of kick you into gear. But set a reasonable goal. You know, set a reasonable goal. Not to look good for other people. You know, things happen in life. People treat you a certain kind of way. It is what it is. But don't grade yourself according to that. It's going to stagnate your progression when you start working out. When at that moment when you really need a push. And you're going to think to yourself about these other people, that's going to remove the whole purpose of why you even need to do it in the first place. So taking away the fact that you need to do it and place it in. I get to work out for me. I get to work out to feel better. I get to work out to live longer. I get to eat healthy. You know, for me, you know, things like that. You know, you treat yourself versus trying to do it for them, because they can probably care less. Like she said, they can probably care less that you're doing it anyway. So.
I like that you said that, because a lot of times we can see working out at first is enjoyable and then it becomes a pain. It's like, I have to work out. I have to, so that I can, you know, be the correct size by what the society, you know, by society standards. Or I paid for this membership, so I have to do it. Versus looking at it and saying, like you said, I get to do it, because there's other people who may not be able to get out of the bed, even like physically cannot get out of the bed, and they would love to work out.
They would love to,
but they have physical limitations, and they're not able to do it. And so they see us with our working body parts and limbs, and we just squandering. We're just like, and we're upset and we're frustrated. And they're saying, I wish I could get up and do that. I wish I could go for a walk. I would love to be able to lift those weights. And that's kind of, even when you look at the movie, what was it, Unbreakable? He was kind of like jealous of him because Mr. Glass, I believe, because he wanted to be able to do what the other one could do. But yet his bones would shatter with like the slightest amount of weight. So when you talk about getting to, this is something that my husband has been talking about a lot, especially this year, about changing his perspective. Instead of like, I have to be your husband, I get to be your husband. I get to reap the benefits of being your husband. I get to, you know, reap the benefits of being your wife, and seeing it as, you know, there could be someone else right here instead of me. So always, so then you embody the privileges.
She's fine. So I'm blessed. I get to have her, you know, in my life. She keeps choosing me. I'm grateful. Yo. Mwah. Yeah, we better watch it.
So, right. Actually, I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else that you want to?
Well, just piggybacking off when you said that about getting to, you know, I train with people who are in wheelchairs. So training with them has been something that's been helping me out as well, because the motivation that these people have. I have one gentleman, he's not supposed to be able to stand up at all, but he gets up he'll get up out of his wheelchair to be able to get into some of the machines that we work out on. And he was like, man, you know, I'm motivated. I appreciate you for motivating. I'm like, man, I appreciate you for wanting to get up and saying, I get to work out. I get to do this, and look what I'm going to do. And he didn't stand up in a machine for me. He did it for himself, because he believed that he can do these things. He gets the message that we create together.
Man, oh goodness. Before we even end, now that you said that, because we talked about your career briefly and working with youth, but even prior to that, is it okay if I bring up about Papa? He, you know, his stepfather, Papa, our children's grandfather, he, because of diabetes, right?
He was a double amputee.
He was a double amputee. And what really further, like, really attracted me, we always say that the niece and nephews helped, and they did help in us getting together. As far as me, you know, I really adored them, and I still do, but just like at that age, you know, meeting them. But when I saw him interact with his stepfather, is what really like sealed the deal for me. How he loved on his mother, how he interacted with his stepfather, because I'm coming from a background as far as with Special Olympics, and my mother working with cerebral palsy, and some people were in wheelchairs, and some people were amputees, and some people were laying kind of like in a gurney bed, and that's like their mode of transportation when we go to Special Olympics. And it was always a really sacred time and space for me, and I enjoyed being able to interact with my mother in that space, and I enjoyed being able to interact with the participants. So when I saw him, not everybody understood that. Like, my peers didn't understand about working with cerebral palsy and volunteering. You're not getting paid for that. Volunteering to do it.
Right.
And so when I saw him helping his stepfather, and whenever we would go to events, people would sometimes leave Pawpaw outside, and I would see Darren make sure, I don't care how narrow the doorway was and how many steps it was, he made sure to go out there and help Pawpaw with the wheelchair to come in. And because his thing was, Pawpaw's not going to get left out. Even when it comes to here, it's like Pawpaw's not getting left out because we have steps. He always makes sure. And with my uncle, over the years, his legs have become more, he's not able to use them the same. So he has a walker that, that you sit on. And he always helps him up the steps and down the steps and in the car. And the awesome thing about that is that now our sons do it. Like before he even gets there, our oldest ones are helping to get him in and out. So that was something that was very attractive to me, and let me know how compassionate that you are and where you are, with that. So I bring that up because even before working with the youth, you were already working with your stepdad, because before the wheelchair, he had prosthetics. So what was that experience like?
It was hard. It was hard because I understood that, I had to get an understanding in my mind. What if this was me? Would I want to be left behind and things like that? And so that kind of helped me to kind of step up to the plate and be like, make sure that he's doing well. And even when he was learning to walk with the prosthetic legs that he had, he and I, we did physical therapy together. Physical therapist taught me a lot about some of the movements and some of the rehab movements, and working with him, it did a lot for me to be able to work with him. I learned a lot. I learned how the proper way to help somebody lift, help somebody to become motivated. Eventually got to the point where he didn't want to really mess with the legs, but he still did a lot of exercise, and so we still did exercise even though he stopped trying to put the prosthetic legs on. So, and then being able to motivate him, to just keep going, So after that, he got that motorized wheelchair and he was never home. So, but he still would do things to still get his exercise in. You'll catch him with a dumbbell, or you'll catch him with some kind of water jug, doing some kind of exercise. And so, he and I talked about that. You still got to do these exercises. And so he'll be in a room with mom. He had this arm rack that was it's to help him it's a triangle. So it'll help him to pull himself up in the bed. Well, he would use that and do pull-ups in the bed when he's in there with mom and stuff. So, it felt good to kind of encourage him, motivate him, but at the same time, he knew, he was motivating me too. Yeah. And so, throughout my life, and being in and out of fitness for well over 20 some odd years, in and out, it's always been something for me, something to remember him, and all of this, because working with him, it was very educational, so it was emotional, but it was very educational. So it gave me an opportunity to kind of know that, there are people out there who are going through certain things. They may have limitations that take place, but as long as they're willing to keep trying, I'm willing to help in any kind of way. So.
And see, that's what you get with the Coach Plai Experience. You don't get someone that's just, drill sergeant or anything like that. Really don't get a drill sergeant at all. But, just in case someone's like, well, what's all involved in this? When you get the Coach Plai Experience package, what you're getting is the literal experience that he's had being with Pawpaw, being with the youth who he worked with, having other various clients that he's worked with throughout the years, his own exercise routines, working out with other people that working in the hospital, working out with other gym instructors throughout your years. You get all that packed into one guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the cool thing. I've been able to work in so many different atmosphere, you know, when it comes to fitness. And it's like, man, like a lot of my family members don't even know, you know, the experience that I have, you know, and just gaining experience, you know.
It's like Jesus when everyone was like, I know I blended my words right there, but when everyone was like, is that the carpenter's son? Like, I really know you for being the carpenter's son. Like, what else did you do?
So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a journey. It's definitely been a journey for me, but it's well worth it. You know, there's a lot I still want to do, still want to share. And there's a lot of people that I would love to train with, you know. So.
Mm-hmm. And that's the other thing you get. Now we're gonna talk about that later because you gotta get ready for work. But some of the people that are your inspiration and mentors, because that's always a key thing too. When you look into getting a coach, regardless if it's with the Coach Plai or if it's with me, what you're looking into is getting someone who also has mentors, and they're gonna bring into your fitness training the mentors that they're inspired by. And right here you're looking at someone who's not going for the latest craze. He's going for the most seasoned, most qualified mentors that he's learning from, so that he can be able to share that with you. Just like for myself as a writer, I love William Shakespeare. I love Alfred Hitchcock as a director. There's other writers, Zora Neale Hurston, that I'm inspired by, James Baldwin. So whenever I'm writing, that's what you get from me. You're getting from me the qualities of their teaching, of how they presented their information, not from a copycat standard, but my own style. But I'm inspired by them. I learned from them. You know, I'm not just reading their stuff and being entertained. I'm saying, what made you use that dialect right there? Zora Neale Hurston has a book, Their Eyes Are Watching God, and she does it in Southern dialect. So when she writes it, you read it aloud or you read it in your head with that accent. And that's what you get with that. And that's what I've learned how to do. So when people read my writing, they're like, how did you know to do that? Zora Neale Hurston taught me. Like, I wasn't there with her. She'd already passed on. But I received that teaching from her. Yeah. That's the same thing right here. So next time we talk, I would love for us to talk briefly or however long about who you're inspired by, because that's what you bring into your programs and into your sessions. And if anything, hopefully it may even encourage you to check out these names and see how that works for you. So I think you need to try to at least get a 10-minute in or 15.
Oh,
if you have time.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. I think I'm out of time, baby.
So we thank you guys for joining RK Yoga Chat. We're going to talk again. This was my special guest, my lovely husband, Coach Plai. You can check him out at the Coach Plai Experience. I will link his information in the caption. Check him out on Facebook. Message him. Bootcamp sessions are open, as well as the youth sessions. So we are looking forward to being able to meet with you and be able to, as you say, share some recipes. Yep, and don't forget, we can go virtual. Yes, virtual classes are open as well. So definitely reach out. Flyer is on my page. Flyer is on my husband's page as well. All right, guys, you have a good and awesome Friday. Bye-bye.